Mm-hmm.
You have permission to speak freely.
Sacrifice you've made.
It seems you had quite the eventful mission on your hands. You still have the Crimson Fleet's trust, and you were able to spare lives in the process.
Infiltrating that station without getting caught was quite tricky.
But you did so with an abundance of stealth and restraint. That's exactly what we're looking for in a sysdef operative.
We put a lot of effort into it. Hard not to like this guy.
Excuse me, sir. I hate to interrupt, but there's still the matter of the comm spike to discuss.
Yes, of course, Lieutenant. Time is short, and we should get to the matter at hand. Please give me your report.
Warlander says it potentially throws the game off balance when the level 5 guy finds a way to make money and goes out and buys the biggest and best weapons. Suddenly it trivializes any challenge. My argument there is that, first of all, it was the devs' fault for allowing that loophole. Second of all, why is it okay for them to not do that, but not go find the leveling loophole to do the same thing? The third thing would be, who cares? If someone wants to put in the hours of time it takes to farm something that's not the actual game to then be overpowered in the main story, if it's a single player game, who cares? I mean, you could argue that's what people do in life. When they go off and instead of going to like college and doing all that work, they just do business and they get a business super successful and then they bypass all that and they're a millionaire by 21. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, I feel like there's more nuanced, interesting, and better ways to approach it than just kind of like arbitrarily attaching it to levels. Because at the end of the day, levels generally mean nothing. Levels are a progression gate, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm getting physically stronger every time I get leveled or anything. It's just an arbitrary gate. It's an accepted game mechanic to allow progression. There's better ways to do progression in a world than just popping it onto that system. Yeah.
If you would kindly continue.
Well, I would. Okay, fine. Delgado has Jasmine Durand working on the comm spike.
Then it's just a matter of time before she reverse engineers it to fit the fleet's purposes. So what does Delgado have you doing next? Has he solved the Bannock 4 problem?
He believes that Genardine's conduction grid in Neon is the key.
The conduction grid?
That's brilliant, but is it actually possible? It's 80-year-old tech. Sorry, sir.
Is Dimitri as soft as he looks?
Is how Neon generates its power. It essentially absorbs lightning strikes and converts it to usable energy. It would take a hell of an engineer to modify the technology to handle Bannock 4's EM field. An engineer, like Jasmine Durand.
That's the case. Inform our contacts on Neon that our operative will be touching down there in the near future.
Absolutely, sir.
And before you depart, I wanted you to know that your efforts are helping us gain interest among my superiors. They're finally beginning to believe that we can take down the Crimson Fleet and make amends for the UC's embarrassing mistake.
So what's the better game, Starfield or Cyberpunk? I like both, but I think Cyberpunk is better, and I love the new DLC. Cyberpunk is a better game than Starfield. And I have no qualms saying that. If we were to compare the release of Starfield to the release of Cyberpunk, Starfield is a better game than Cyberpunk. But the thing about Cyberpunk is that Cyberpunk released and they spent 3 years finding the voice that Cyberpunk needed to become a unique and interesting RPG experience that exists on its own pillar. Like Cyberpunk is amazing in that regard in 2.0. 2.0 and Phantom Liberty have made Cyberpunk 2077 one of the best RPG experiences you can get right now. What would be fair to say is taking Cyberpunk 2.0 and Phantom Liberty and comparing it to Starfield and its first expansion at that point. Because I would say this arguably, Cyberpunk 1.0 compared to Starfield, that's not an easy thing to compare. I wouldn't necessarily say that 1.0 is worse than this game, but I wouldn't really say it's better than this game. Like, that's
Please,
like a discussion.
proceed with your report.
That's not a clear winner. But Cyberpunk 2.0 versus this game, I would say that Cyberpunk edges it out. Especially with Phantom Liberty. Phantom Liberty, to put it bluntly, is awesome. Phantom Liberty is CD Projekt Red doing what it does best, and it's great. I loved it. I actually loved it. So, to compare Cyberpunk where it is now to Starfield where it is now is not necessarily the fairest thing to do. I would say let's give Cyberpunk... Starfield has already said they know there's problems, they know there's stuff they have to add, they know there's stuff they need to patch, and we already know that Starfield has an expansion on the way.
Proceed with your report.
And hopefully, Starfield will, especially in the expansion, add some of the stuff that players really want to see in this game. Like a much better sandbox experience, to put it bluntly. And I mean sandbox in terms of like a physical sandbox, not a universe style sandbox, but a physical large area to call a sandbox, almost like Outer Worlds, to be honest. But yeah, I would say right now, in the current state, Cyberpunk 2.0 and Phantom Liberty are a more fulfilling experience than Starfield. But again, I would also caveat that with saying that Starfield needs a little more time to really make that comparison. And it's going to get it. We know they're going to keep working on Starfield.
Permission to speak.
And we know there's an expansion on the way. So it's going to get it. So in 3 years, I mean, it's going to be interesting to make that comparison.
It's long overdue.
Yep.
All right. I suppose that's all for now. I'll be looking forward to your next report. Good luck. And please, be careful.
Remember to turn in any evidence fragments. Well done. Let's see what you found.
This evidence about Juan Bayou should put her away for a long time. Oh, really? Juan?
Finally. We've been tracking the Jade
Sorry,
Swamp for
Juan.
almost a year, but
Actually liked
Captain
her.
Bayou somehow remained one step ahead. Every time we've scanned that ship, it's come up empty. Well, she's not going to skate away this time. Nice work. Any other fragments?
Reading about the comm spike shows the UC's got some internal issues.
Cost overruns, siphoning project funds? How deep does this well go? Our forensic accounting team is going to have their hands full. I'll send this to Mass right away. Let's just hope that a few rotten apples within the UC haven't spoiled the entire bunch. Have you more?
I will say this.
All right. Keep up the good work.
If there's one thing playing Starfield and then playing Cyberpunk 2.0 and Phantom Liberty and then returning to Starfield has showed me,
did you have to chase that fleet ship through the
Let me know if you need anything else.
Bethesda has this way
Anything to report?
of making all NPCs
At
talk
some
to the
point, risk
player.
isn't worth catching a few criminals.
You approach an NPC, they tell you something about the world.
You know,
Things were a little too loose under Commander Woods.
Stealing with
Commander Zatara, we had stricter checkpoints.
Like that guy.
Patrols.
You approach this NPC, what are they going to say?
It's tough not seeing any action, but securing a station like this is a pretty important duty.
Yeah.
Just call him how I see him.
This guy, what's he going to say?
I've heard the technology in this station would make the FC surrender before we even started another war.
All three of those NPCs talked to us about things we needed to know in the world to flesh out our understanding of it. That is the Bethesda way. That is how Bethesda works. You are the main character, and every NPC exists to flesh out your understanding of the world around you. And after playing Cyberpunk, I have realized, especially 2.0 and Phantom Liberty, how so much more immersive it is when NPCs are not talking to the player, but talking to other NPCs, or even just out loud about things that are happening in the world. And the player garners that information from those discussions. So if there's one thing I'd say to Bethesda, it's this: it's that you have a formula that you need to change. This whole randomly walk up to an NPC and they talk to you about the game world thing, once you realize that's what's going on, once you break down that facade, the world becomes less alive and more of just this game trying to tell you what's going on. And Cyberpunk is so much better at like people existing in the world, and NPCs feel alive, and the ambience involved in how they actually interact with each other, and even just, again, talking out loud to themselves. The immersion factor is completely different from this game. And I really hope in future Bethesda products that they kind of consider that this whole, like, the MC is the main character and we should just tell them the information. It's a totally different way of telling the story. And frankly, not as good. It's not as good. So, Tuck says, I heard this rant 12 times already, Cohh. Move on.
Separation complete.
Tux, but let's make it 13. So, with NPCs, I feel like it's yeah. We'll do lucky number 13. Tux, I think it's a really good point to a good point in our relationship, me and you, Tux, to discuss the fact that not only do I relatively forget what I've talked about, but I also repeat a lot of things on this channel. A lot. But more importantly, Tux, and I do think it's important to mention this.
Hey, Dad. Will you read
Is that
tonight before bed?
This channel is not for one person, and I will frequently repeat something I've said, or say something again, just because I know the majority of people that are watching me at that point haven't heard it before. And more importantly, for you, Tux, that's never going to stop.
Read to you, sure. I like that very much.
So at this point in our relationship, Tux, I feel like you've explained pretty directly that you don't want to hear the same thing over and over. And I understand that.
You just try and stop me.
And I respect that. I do. But I think it's important that you understand that this is not the channel you're going to get what you're looking for. I am going to continue to repeat my ideas and what I'm thinking about multiple times. I will frequently understand the reality that there are hundreds of people leaving and coming at all times, and that some people coming may have insightful information about things I've talked about that I haven't considered or heard before, and they frequently haven't been here before. So it's okay. Mickey says I love co-sarcasm. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being 100% real right now. There are a lot of people that don't want to hear the same thing repeated over and over. This is not the channel for them. Yep.
All right, let's cycle that airlock and get
I understand and frequently think about the fact that there are new people here all the time, and I will frequently repeat what I have said over and over. I will frequently repeat what I've said over and over. I will frequently repeat what I've said over and over. I will frequently repeat what... You see what I'm saying? So if you know, there's some streamers that don't do that, and you know, if that's what you want, I probably would encourage you to find other streamers. Yeah. And I don't say that to be a jerk. I don't say that to be a dick. I say that because we all have a very limited amount of time on this planet. We do. We all have a blink in the existence of time.
Good to see you.
Spend it how we want to. And the last thing I want is for you to be spending some of your very brief life here, not having a great time, not getting what you expect to get. You know what I mean? So, yeah, dude. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. So, don't be the guy that's here not getting what you want. Because I don't want it, and you don't want it. Nobody wins. With that being said, you will definitely hear me repeat things many, many times in this channel. And not necessarily because I'm meaning to, but many times because I'm drinking and just forget that I've said it before. Yep. So, you know. And that's not for everyone. For sure. So Tux, if you're still here, if you've made it this far,
no longer docked. We're free.
I hope we're on the same page. I do. Wouldn't be surprised if you already left though. All right, travel to Neon. Let's go. I think we all just came back. Can you repeat what you just said? No. I think I don't remember it. Yeah. Job's done. Born a rambling man, says Wasty. That's right. Hattie says, just came in. Can you repeat what you just said? Nope.
There should be a sign, dump your Aurora here. You'd make a fortune if you put a net right under here. I'm not even kidding. There's nothing in the settled systems quite like Neon.
It's been a while since we've been
terrible,
in Neon.
But never dull Neon.
Get that cleared as soon as
How many voice actor roles have you had for video games? Just the 2 that we know of or more? I have done Cyberpunk, Baldur's Gate 3, 2 roles in Encased, Tainted Grail, The Surge 2, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, Solasta, oh, and Ali says that one hentai game. Yep. King Arthur. Yep. No, Dave the Diver, I didn't have any voice acting roles in that. No. Stasis Bone Totem. I had a voice acting role in Stasis Bone Totem. Everspace 2. I'm in 2 unannounced projects. You'll hear about more of those soon. Tainted Grail Fall of Avalon. Yeah. Yep. I'm in Tainted Grail Fall of Avalon. They were super cool to include me in that. Yep. I was the sexy vending machine in Atomic Heart. The over-sexualized vending machine. That was me. Yep. That actually wasn't me, for the record. That was not me. That was a joke. I think that's it. Surge 2, Pathfinder, Everspace 2, King Arthur, Baldur's Gate, Cyberpunk, Solasta. No, yeah, Yakuza. I was in Yakuza as a card, but I did not do a voice acting role in that game. Yeah. Yep. The game with the screaming guy. I don't know what that is, but I wish I was in that. Yeah. I wish I was the screaming guy. Was I in Death Stranding? No, I was not in Death Stranding. No. Can you remind me who you voiced in Baldur's Gate 3? I was Nobber in Baldur's Gate 3. Yep, the most annoying character in the game, actually. Yep. I will wear that badge with honor. Hmm? You were in Solasta? Yes, I am in Solasta as the unknown drunk. We'll say that. Yeah. I was the guy in Solasta that was the in the bar at the beginning. Yep. I don't know. For some reason, a lot of people don't realize that's me. I don't know why, but yeah, that was my character in Solasta. Yeah. Oh, Encased. I was two different characters in Encased. Yeah. Guilford says the drunk adventure in the tavern. Wow, really? Yes, that was me. I tend to be pigeonholed into crazy street preachers or drunk people. And for the record, I'm fine with this. Yeah. I'm okay with that. I found my niche. I did. Yeah. Red Fuzz Rat says, are you looking forward to Outer Worlds 2? Hell yes, I am. I loved Outer Worlds, and more importantly, the Outer Worlds DLC is actually amazing. Yep. So I am really looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. Stasis Bone Totem equals a game with a screaming guy. Funny enough, the character that I play in Stasis Bone Totem is a giant seething wall of random human body parts and flesh. Yeah, that's who I play. Yep. That's my character in that. It was great. I actually loved working with him. It was really fun. Yeah. JD Blaze says, so a politician. Okay. Okay. We'll take it. We'll take it. Not wrong. Hi.
You looking to get zoned?
Zoned?
Yeah, you know, dusted, blazed, frosted, high. If you weren't here to buy some Aurora, then what the heck do you want?
I would like to be zoned, please. I'm looking for you.
Yeah? Well, if I had a credit for every time I heard that line, I wouldn't be stuck working in this place. So, I'm guessing you're the Rook that Delgado sent. Well, let me save both of us some time. Turn around, fly back to the key, and tell the big boss that I'm in no mood to screw around. We'll make this deal when he starts taking me seriously.
Whoa. You said no one's taking you seriously.
Come on, give me a break. You're not exactly a top dog over there at the key, now are you? Sending me a Rook to handle a job this risky is a goddamn insult.
I need specifics.
Specifics, huh? Okay, fine. I spent the last 3 months setting up this job, burned 2 contacts and a hell of a lot of credits. The whole time, I'm also keeping Bayou off our backs. That idiot even catches a whiff of money and he latches onto you like a damn leech.
Benjamin goddamn Bayou is worse than the Crimson Fleet. I'm not even joking.
Bayou, what the heck is that?
Benjamin Bayou, Neon's esteemed mayor, or administrator, or whatever the hell you want to call him. He's also the greediest bastard you'll ever meet. Got his fingers in everyone's business, and the muscle to back it up. The only reason I'm allowed to operate on Neon is because I pay well to keep my involvement off his radar.
ABS.
The last thing I need right now is an amateur like you getting me kicked off world.
We both need to do what we're told.
Yep, just like a couple of Model A's. Program us, point us in the right direction, and watch us go. I don't have a ton of time to stand here and screw around, so I'm gonna make this as clear as possible. You want the conduction grid tech, then you're gonna have to download it from the power core of Genardine's facility in the underbelly.
Where's that?
Beneath your feet, genius. It's the lowest level of Neon. Genardine and Xenofresh are down there, along with some of the finest cuisine in the city.
What is a power core?
Some fancy name the brain-trusted Genardine calls the room where all the power from the conduction grid is stored. Cute, right? Hey, don't look at me. I didn't build the damn thing. All I know is that the tech inside the place is valuable.
Okay. What are we talking about?
I'm talking about Genardine's main power plant for Neon. All their cushy offices might be up in the trade tower, but the nuts and bolts of their operation are running beneath the city.
Sounds easy enough.
Love the confidence. But before you pull the ripcord, I'm afraid I need to add a bit of a wrinkle. While you're inside Genardine, I need you to plant a virus into their system. It's a simple side job that'll earn you some credits. I think you can handle it.
Let's see. Great. Why should I do this for you?
The elevator doesn't exactly go to the top floor in that head of yours, does it? Everything in the Crimson Fleet is accomplished through a decent helping of give and take. As in, I'm not going to give you the information to get your precious data unless you take this virus and upload it like I asked.
I got never mentioned anything about a virus.
That's because you're planning it for me as a favor. Genardine has all sorts of tasty, valuable snacks in their databanks, and I want access. Here, take this microdrive and access the computer in Bayou's office. It'll do the rest on its own.
1 second. Out of the Bayou works at Genardine?
Yep, nepotism has its advantages. Word on the street is that the Genardine gig is the only one Benjamin could get for his younger brother. He's not the brightest.
Why do you need to access her data?
Let's just say that information can be just as lucrative as selling Aurora, and keep it at that, okay? But don't worry, I promised Delgado that when it came to the conduction grid data, that's his territory. I won't touch it.
Okay.
And I suppose you're gonna head down to Genardine and kick down the door? Wow, it's so simple. I can't believe I didn't think of that myself. Genardine's got their place locked down tight. But, as usual, the weak link comes from the people that work there. I recommend you start with Ayumi Komiko, an upper-level exec at Genardine. Get your hands on her security pass, and you'll have the run of the place.
I have some pull at Ryujin, if it helps.
Ryujin Cloud doesn't mean shit at Genardine. So you're gonna have to deal with Komiko and potentially her boyfriend, Benjamin Bayou. Anyway, you can find Komiko at Euphorica. Talk to the owner of the place, Micah. She'll point you in the right direction. As for dealing with Komiko herself, she's got an office in the trade tower if you're looking for something incriminating. The rest is up to you, Rook. When you're done, come meet me at the VIP booth in the Aurora Lounge so we can celebrate.
We load on Euphorica.
Pretty laid-back club over in Ebside. Owner's name is Micah. She's young, but sharp as a razor, and has gang muscle to back her up. The little Aurora Lounge she has tucked away in the building is the real gold mine. Said she modeled it after opium dens on old Earth. Bayou takes a cut of the profits, of course, but rumor says it's way less than he usually takes. No one knows why.
Huh. What's Brayson's Bayou story?
Nepotism gets him the job at Genardine as their chief technician, yet the guy doesn't know the first thing about electrical engineering. They obviously invented the position just to give the moron a salary. One of the many poorly kept secrets in Neon. Frankly, I think he's such a screw-up. Benjamin Bayou stuck his ass in that facility under the city to keep him out of the limelight.
Wow. Can you tell me anything useful about him?
Not much to tell, really. Thanks to their nifty little conduction grid, they're able to provide power for the entirety of Neon. Damn thing was supposed to be some kind of miracle invention, turning lightning into usable electricity. Neat trick, right? Only catch is that you need a planet like Voli, where lightning strikes often enough to make it feasible. Guess how many of those exist? Ding! If you said 0, you're absolutely correct. So Genardine has been in dire financial straits for years.
I'm amazed they're still around.
You're not the only one. The only reason they haven't folded is because they charge exorbitant fees for power. I'm talking 2 or 3 times what it costs in New Atlantis. Okay, now, on to round 2 of our little game. Guess who has a major stake in Genardine and soaks up all that delicious profit?
Ryujin.
Ooh, not even close. The answer you were looking for isn't another corporation. It's a person. It's good old Benny Bayou.
That wasn't an option!
That son of a bitch has a finger in every single pie in the sorry excuse for a city. Genardine's no different. All off the books, of course. How the hell do you think Brayson Bayou got the job down there? It wasn't because of his good looks or smarts, I can promise you that.
Anything I need to know about Ayumi Komiko?
Businesswoman, tough as hull plating. She's the COO at Genardine, and I can assure you she didn't get there with her winning smile. As for her relationships, well, that's a bit more complicated. Publicly, she's having a bit of a fling with Benjamin Bayou. But rumor has it that she's just using Bayou and having a little bit of fun on the side with Micah, the owner of Euphorica. If I were you, I wouldn't bother trying to appeal to her good nature. She's a manipulative person who uses people to get what she wants.
Okay, so I guess we're done here.
Just grab that tech and plant the virus. Should be a cinch.
Okay. We'll do that tomorrow. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you guys had fun. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. ET for AC Mirage, actually. Then an afternoon of something. And then probably more of this tomorrow evening, because I do want to finish the Crimson Pirate quest line before we are done with Starfield.
We're still talking?
Yeah.
Time is money,
Fun.
you know?
Fun. As always, thanks for your time. See you guys tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. ET, and have a great rest of your night.